luck. There'll be no quitting along the way, not by me and not by you.
He was a hero to millions, Hollywood's ultimate cowboy, and the face of mid-century American cinema. John Wayne, rugged, straight-shooting, unapologetically masculine. But behind the screen legend was a man with a reputation that, frankly, stinks. And many in Hollywood knew it. Some even said it out loud. John Wayne didn't just play patriotic characters. He was a hardline nationalist. In a now infamous 1971 Playboy interview, Wayne proudly said, "I believe in white supremacy until the blacks are educated to a point of responsibility." Yes, he really said that. In the same interview, he called Native Americans selfish, said slavery wasn't all bad, and described LGBTQ+ people as perverts. Wayne was openly racist, aggressively anti-communist, dismissive of civil rights, and a staunch defender of the Vietnam War. He wasn't just conservative, he was the kind of conservative who thought McCarthy didn't go far enough. Still, most of Hollywood stayed quiet. He was powerful, beloved by middle America, and the studios knew better than to mess with that formula. But not everyone stayed silent. Here are 5 movie stars who hated John Wayne, and why. First up, Marlon Brando. One of the greatest actors of all time, and a deeply political figure. Brando supported native rights and the Black liberation movement, and when he won the Oscar for The Godfather in 1973, he made a move that stunned the industry. He sent Native American activist Sheen Littlefeather to decline the award on his behalf, drawing attention to the mistreatment of indigenous people in Hollywood. John Wayne, watching backstage, reportedly lost it. He tried to storm the stage and drag her off, and had to be physically restrained by 6 security guards. Brando didn't mince words later. John Wayne represents everything wrong with America. A man afraid of change, clinging to myth. Next, Jane Fonda. She was young, fearless, and politically electric. While Wayne wrapped himself in the American flag, Fonda was burning it, figuratively at least. She spoke out loudly against the Vietnam War, supported the Black Panthers, and became a symbol of the anti-establishment left. John Wayne couldn't stand her. He called her Hanoi Jane, accused her of treason, and used every interview he could to throw dirt her way. But Fonda wasn't backing down. She knew what he represented, and she wanted no part of it. "Wayne's America is a myth," she once said. "It's a fantasy where women shut up, minorities stay quiet, and war is always the answer." At one event in the 70s, Wayne reportedly muttered that she should be locked up for life. Fonda's response? "The only bars I'll ever be behind are ones where they serve whiskey." Their feud was more than just political. It was personal, generational, and cultural. They never worked together. They couldn't even share a room. Then there's Katharine Hepburn, a queen of old Hollywood, but she didn't take orders from anyone. Known for her sharp wit and refusal to conform to gender roles, Hepburn was everything Wayne wasn't. Fiercely independent and unwilling to bite her tongue. Studios once dreamed of pairing the two icons. But after just a few meetings, Hepburn pulled out. The chemistry? Non-existent. The reason? She didn't respect him. In an interview, when asked why she never worked with Wayne, Hepburn said, "I don't suffer bullies. I don't suffer bigots." And John Wayne was both. She also famously quipped, "He had screen presence, yes. But off camera, he was a cocktail of arrogance, ignorance, and old-school chauvinism." Wayne didn't take that lightly. He once joked, "If I wanted to get yelled at by a woman with opinions, I'd go home to my wife." Hepburn's comeback? "I'm sure your wife yells because it's the only way you listen." Wayne couldn't stand strong women. Hepburn had no time for fragile men playing cowboys. Paul Newman was more subtle, but no less critical. Wayne mocked him publicly, calling him a bleeding heart liberal and a soft socialist. Newman, for his part, kept his cool. But in an interview, he let the truth slip. John Wayne is a fantasy, a myth that tells us America is always right, and that's why we keep getting it wrong. They never worked together, and they never would. Newman didn't want to share a frame with him, and quietly, a lot of Hollywood agreed. Finally, Harry Belafonte, actor, singer, and lifelong activist. A close friend of Martin Luther King Jr., and a voice for civil rights when it was dangerous to be one. To Belafonte, Wayne wasn't just a symbol, he was the enemy. John Wayne's America doesn't include me, he said. If he's your hero, that says more about you than it does about him. Wayne represented the kind of America that crushed voices like Belafonte's, voices demanding equality, truth, and justice. For Belafonte, Wayne's legacy wasn't about cinema. It was about erasure. Even after his death, John Wayne remains a controversial figure. His films are deeply embedded in American cinema, sure. But the man behind those dusty hats and righteous speeches? He was hateful, arrogant, and unapologetically stuck in the past. So here's the real question. Can we separate the art from the artist? Do John Wayne's achievements outweigh his ignorance? Or have we been idolizing a villain in cowboy boots all along? Tell us what you think in the comments. Smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more raw Hollywood history, brutal facts, and the true stories behind the stars. Let's stop polishing legends and start telling the truth.